Thank you, Deputy Speaker. This is an odd motion by the member for Grey, but it does allow members of the government party to speak about the government's many initiatives in energy policy and important actions in cybersecurity. So I thank the member and I speak against the motion. The member for Grey is from South Australia. His state has a proud record on the rollout of renewables, and even though I expect he can't take much of the credit for that, he should be coming here crowing about his state's achievements. Instead, we get phrases like rush towards 82% renewables and somehow in the same motion, dithering. The member cannot have it both ways. Much of the solar and the wind power that now largely runs the state of South Australia originates from the sun and wind in the seat of Grey. The member should be very proud and a warrior for the transition. It is important to set targets and to do whatever is necessary to achieve them. In renewables, this is a novel concept after 10 years of, well, dithering by the previous government. This government, in just a year, has made great investments in renewables, as the motion indicates, and this is both a good thing and much needed. Before the change of government, emissions continue to trend upwards. In July last year, the CSIRO and the energy market operator confirmed that renewables like wind and solar are the cheapest form of energy. This government has invested in ARENA to power solar research, taken concrete steps to unlock the power of offshore wind, supported a groundbreaking thermal energy storage project in the Hunter and another in Broken Hill, invested to fast-track connection of the country's largest wind farm precinct in Queensland to the national electricity market, legislated our emissions reduction targets, which the member for Grey voted against, which is very telling. What does the member tell the solar and wind companies in Grey about the fact that they voted against emissions reductions targets? We've supported renewable hydrogen production in Karratha, in Brisbane, the Hunter, Gladstone, Townsville and Whyalla, rewiring the nation to allow more renewables to reach consumers and to fortify the energy system. We speak to partners at COP and other international fora on climate issues, and not with empty words to empty rooms. And of course, we legislated a $10 billion national reconstruction fund with a mandate to invest in renewables and low-emissions technologies. The movement to 100% renewables will have a long tail. The last 18% may take a lot longer than the first 82%, but this transition is part of the government's responsible response to the climate realities that confront us. The climate news is bad. The use of the word rush in this motion is in itself intemperate, for a rapid movement is exactly what is called for. We need to transition at whatever top speed is realistic, and we need to become leaders in our region, assisting our neighbours to transition too. Now, the motion cautions that Chinese-made electronics might contain spyware. Firstly, let's take a breath and assume that it might be improbable that the Chinese want to keep a close eye on each Australian's resident's power consumption. Nevertheless, the government has been very active in the areas of cyber security. First and foremost, we have a Minister for Cyber Security in the Cabinet. Apparently, we're dithering when those opposite didn't even have a Minister for Cyber Security when we took office. Well, they did have one for a couple of years until 2018, then they didn't. There's some classy dithering for you. And with the Minister for Cyber Security in Cabinet, this government has initiated the development of Australia's new cyber security strategy, led the new International Counter-Ransomware Task Force, implemented the Risk Management Program to strengthen the resilience of critical infrastructure and essential services, held the Prime Minister's Cyber Security Roundtable in February, established a National Office for Cyber Security and appointed a National Cyber Security Coordinator in June. And just 3 days ago, declared another 87 critical infrastructure assets to be systems of national significance, bringing the total to 168 across the energy, communications, transport, financial sector and data sectors. Unsurprisingly, we ranked #1 in the world among countries showing the greatest progress and commitment to enhancing cybersecurity by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in March this year. One of the reasons the government changed in May 22 is that the Australian people want to see action across a range of areas after years of coalition dithering. The government has been more active on climate change in 16 months than the previous 9 years of the coalition government, more active on cyber security than any government ever, and at the same time more useful in both defence and in mending relations with our neighbours, including our relationship with China.
I thank